Chris Mannix for the crossover alongside Howard Beck and Ben Pickman. Fellas, the Pelicans have a new coach in Stan Van Gundy. Playoff expectations coming into this year, but this team has significantly underachieved to start the season, which has led to reports that the Pelicans could look to be sellers before the March trade deadline. Howard, a little too early for the Pelicans to be potentially pulling the chute on the season?
I think so. I mean, listen, Stan Van Gundy just got there, and Zion Williamson is still a virtual rookie. He still doesn't have 82 games under his belt, and you've got a pretty young core there with guys like Ball and Ingram and Alexander Walker. Like, this is not the time to be saying panic, blow it up, start trading out key rotation pieces. I think you need to give this group some time, especially when you've just brought in a new coach, especially one as demanding as Stan Van Gundy. Give them a little time to establish a defensive identity. Give Zion a little bit of time to learn to play defense at the NBA level. It's not that this team is lacking talent. It's not that the talent is somehow ill-fitting. Yes, every roster, including the Pelicans, could use some tweaking, but this feels a little panicky to me.
No, I agree with you 100%, right? You look at New Orleans so far, they're a below average offense and a bottom 10 defense, and that's led to a subpar record, right? Just 7-11 to start the season. But yeah, it's too early to panic and blow things up. I mean, if you look at it, while they're at the bottom of the Western Conference standings at number 14 right now, they're 3 games out of the 5 seed, right? The Western Conference is incredibly bunched up right now with a number of teams from Memphis at number 5 to New Orleans at number 14, who are all going to be jockeying for position throughout the coming weeks and throughout the coming months. You mentioned it, Howard, a new coach in Stan Van Gundy and a number of pieces that are still trying to gel alongside of each other. And so this is certainly a work in progress. And so I think it definitely is too early for New Orleans to be looking to shop some of their core rotation players.
Yeah, I don't know if it's too early because the Pelicans are at the point where they're not really competing for anything besides a playoff spot. So the guys they're looking to move or could be looking to move are probably not going to be part of their team long term anyway. So if you can get a real asset in the form of a first round pick back in return, I don't really see the huge harm in that. Now, we're really talking about 2 players here, Howard. We're talking about Lonzo Ball and JJ Redick. Lonzo Ball clearly is not part of this team's long-term future. They couldn't come to an agreement on a contract extension with him this past offseason. It doesn't seem like they're trending in a positive direction in terms of being a part of the team for beyond this season this year. And you've got JJ Redick, who is having the worst shooting season of his career. So those 2 guys who are not going to be part of the team probably beyond this season, I think they're reasonable guys to shop right now. Now, if I'm a contending team, I am still very much interested in JJ Redick. I know the shooting percentages right now are absolutely deplorable. I mean, JJ's having just an abysmal shooting season. But to me, that might be just a product of the situation because it's like a boxer with a big punch. Like a shooter doesn't lose his shot later in his career. I mean, you've got guys like Peja Stojakovic, the last year of his career, 42% from 3. Dana Barros, to go back to one of my favorite players, last full season of his career, 42%. Kyle Korver right now, shooting above 40% from 3. So I don't believe that JJ's developed the case of the yips that is not going to allow him to return to form in a different situation. So if I'm a team out there, despite those numbers, Howard, for JJ Redick, I think he's still worth a first-round pick in return.
A first-round pick. Wow, that's going a ways. Listen, if I were trading for JJ Redick at age 29, 30, 32, last season even, but he's 36 now. And Chris, you make great points about guys who got late in their careers as shooters who sustained their shooting excellence. But right now, this is alarming. JJ Redick at 36 years old, shooting below 30% on threes is alarming. And JJ at his best is a plug-and-play guy. Every contender in the league could use the version of JJ Redick we're used to seeing. All of them. Everybody could use a great shooter, and he's a savvy all-around player. He fights on defense. He's got deep playoff experience, finals experience. I would want JJ Redick on my team. But right now, if I'm picking between him and Lonzo Ball, I almost feel like Ball is the better bet. I mean, obviously, he's younger. There's a longer road ahead of him. But it's also just that Lonzo is giving you defense potentially across 3 positions. He's versatile in that way. He is an elite playmaker. His shooting down a little bit right now, but we saw him shoot pretty well from 3 last season. We've seen that the shot can be there. And I don't know if there's a contender that could use Lonzo Ball right off the top. Not the same easy way as it is to just kind of plug in JJ Redick. But heck, I look at the LA Clippers, a team we've all said really could use an upgrade at the point guard position. And I could kind of see him there. Other than that, most of the contenders and most of the best teams are already stocked at point guard. So Ball is going to be the harder fit overall.
Ben Howard is clearly a first-round pick hoarder. Would prefer the 28th pick in the draft over taking a flyer on JJ Redick. What do you think?
No, I think I would go towards JJ Redick, and I think he would fit on most teams in the league. And I have a hard time believing that he's going to be as bad going forward as he's been to start the season, right? You look at it, this is someone who shot more than 40% from three for most of the last decade, and he suddenly dropped to below 30%. It's an incredible drop for someone of his shooting prowess. But I do look at it and say, JJ could fit on most teams, and you look at contenders, whether it's the Clippers or someone like the Celtics, and he would be a good fit there. But I look at another team in the Brooklyn Nets, and of course, we're not exactly sure what the Nets would give up. But I do think Lonzo Ball might be a better fit on that Brooklyn Nets team. We know the Nets don't necessarily need more offense. We certainly know they don't need more shooting with, say, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, to name just a few. But a potential, perimeter defender, a guard who could maybe take on some of the league's best other opposing guards, I think Lonzo would be maybe a better fit with the Brooklyn Nets and help them long term than a player like JJ Redick.
Yeah, I'm still buying JJ Redick. Howard, you keep that late first-round draft pick, though. You hold on to those like grim death, and that'll pay off in the.
I love me a good 28th pick. Love them.
For more, check us out over at SI.com.